There are 11 types of Pokemon in the 11? No. There are 10 types of Pokemon in the Pokemon TCG. So I went to look into which one is the best and which one is the worst, and does it really matter what type you are, or are all types equal in terms of how good they are, in terms of how valuable they are in the Pokemon TCG? The way I did this was I went to the Limitless TCG website and looked at cards that were considered to be competitive, which in general is just cards that are good. They don't need to be amazing to appear in the competitive database, but they need to be pretty solid. And while it may leave out a few cards that are good and may include some cards that just aren't that good, for the most part, it will give us a good idea of how good the different types are. And I would then get a number or a percentage of what percent of the cards are actually good. And of course, this will include previous evolutions, so if you have a Raichu-based stack and you had Pikachu, both of those would be included, but, that is important to consider as well. So I just did this, and I did this for every single type in the current standard format, and it spit out 10 numbers, and I have them here on a chart. And when looking at this, the first thing you probably notice is that the highest best type is way above everything else. It's literally off the charts. So let's take a look at that. And well, that type at 49% competitive, it's dragon type, which is insane. But actually, let's think about it. And it's not that crazy because dragon types don't have a lot of cards and they aren't really a regular type. There is no basic energy from them. But when they are printed, they're usually really good. Pokemon make sure to make them really good. We got Giratina V Star, we got Dragapult EX, and we just have a ton of them. And Dragon is just a really solid type that benefits from just not having a lot of cards. It's almost a quarter of all the other types in terms of its number of cards. So it's a bit of an outlier. But you see, there's another Pokemon type that also doesn't have a basic energy, and it's also a bit of a weird type, and that's colorless. And so let's take a look at the chart and see where colorless is. And wow, it is the second highest. Certainly nowhere near as good as Dragon type, but because colorless Pokemon are really versatile, they're played in a lot of different decks and have a lot of opportunities to shine. And also, Pokemon doesn't print way more colorless Pokemon than every other type, so they're really just at an advantage over every other type. So now that we've gotten those two types out of the way, let's look at the rest of the types. Now, the next four types are all pretty close. The lightning type is the third best type and the highest regular type, and it is only slightly above the average of 19%, but at 22%, it is really solid with a wide variety of pretty solid cards, and also it isn't the most common type in terms of number of cards printed. Also, Metal, Fire, and Psychic are the next three types, and they are all at exactly 19% when rounded, so they are all just completely average in terms of how good they are. They all have a good amount of cards printed and also have a lot of good cards in the format. Metal is actually the least popular of those three types, but it also has the least number of good cards. Overall, these four types are all really solid and not bad by any means. The next three types are water, fighting, and darkness, and they are all below average, but not terrible per se. Water might be the most surprising of the three, but it just has a lot of cards printed, so a lot of them just aren't that good. And fighting and darkness just don't have a lot of good cards. Yes, Charizard DX and the Roaring Moon cards are really solid, but there just isn't a wide variety of different good darkness Pokemon. However, there is one type that is much, much worse than all the other types, much worse than the average type. At a mere 10% of the cards being good, we all know what that type is. It's grass type. It's had bad card after bad card after bad card. I mean, Leafeon VMAX is one of the best grass Pokemon in the last 5 years, and it's not even that good. Grass type has been bad for a long time, but hopefully with the new Teal Mass Ogerpon EX, which seems to be a pretty solid card, Grass type will finally blossom into a type that is actually really competitive with the other types. But for now, these are the type rankings, and we'll see how it continues to evolve over time because certainly in the past, things have been different. Tell me what you think of this video down below, but I hope you enjoyed, subscribe if you did, and like the video, and as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video. Oh, also, this is a different style of video than I usually do. I usually don't edit my videos very much and have them just much longer and with honestly less content. But I'm interested in hearing what you think about this style of video. If you want me to take this higher editing and improve the editing even more and make this style of video maybe 10 minutes long, or would you be interested in seeing more of my videos that are the usual 20 plus minutes long with more stuff that's just not as edited?